Hey sneakies, welcome back for some more Warframe on the PlayStation 4. In this episode, we're going to go over the event that just took place in the game recently called Tethra'S Doom. Now, this event actually introduced a brand new game mode into the game, which actually isn't officially in the game, but I'm assuming it's going to come in a later update. Anyways, my question to you for this episode is, what do you think of this new game mode? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, don't forget to leave a like if you're enjoying the series. The more likes we get, the faster these videos keep coming out. And also hit subscribe to become a sneaky today. That way you don't have to miss another video in this series ever again. As always, I do hope you enjoy. Here we go. Lotus was of course kind enough to give us some messages in our inbox on this mission. Tethra'S Doom, 10-0. We must move quickly. We have learned the nature of Project Tethra. Vahek is rebuilding the Fomorian fleet. His aim is nothing less than complete domination of the Origin system. Thousands of these monstrous ships are in production. The Grineer will become unstoppable if they are completed. We must not let this happen. Our goal is to cripple these ships before they can be deployed. To do this, we are going to target the Fomorian power cores, their most vital component. This will be easier said than done. The cores are heavily guarded and their precise location is a tightly kept secret. First, we must find the cores. The Grineer are coordinating construction using a highly sophisticated encrypted communication system. To defeat this encryption, intercept multiple data fragments, and then combine them using the Tethra'S Cipher blueprint I have sent you. When you have located a core, I will give you further instructions. Lotus. These items have been delivered to your inventory. And you can see our attachment on the right is a Tethra'S Cipher blueprint. Basically, we're going to do interception missions, and every time we complete them, we get pieces to actually build these. Next up is Tethra'S Doom Escalation. We have a problem. Our analysis of Vahek's broadcast has revealed the existence of a second type of Fomorian core. While we have been chasing power cores, Vahek successfully armed many of his ships with shield cores. He already has a head start. We cannot waste any more time. I have provided you with a modified Tethra'S Shield Cipher blueprint. It will let you locate these new cores. Beware, Vahek is ready for us now. He has seen our strategies and had a chance to evolve his own. This mission will not be easy. Lotus. And then we of course have the Tethra'S Shield Cipher blueprint as an attachment here. So to actually build these blueprints, we have to come to the event node that's located on planet Earth. It's called Tethra'S Doom, of course. And it's the new actual interception type of mission I haven't actually had in this series yet. We're just going to have some highlights from this actual mission though. And joining me will be Axe, and also joining me in a bit will be Vortex. He actually joins in the middle of the game, and both of them help me get the pieces to build these blueprints, and we can finally get into the cooler part of the mission later on. Anyway, sneakies, here we go! Infiltrated! Here we go, sneakies! So this is the first time the interception game mode is actually appearing in this series. Pretty much, if you're not familiar with it, 4 different points have spawned onto the map, A, B, C, and D. And then the 10-0, who are the player-controlled characters, are fighting against the Grineer, who are the enemies. And it's pretty much a race to get your score up to 100%. And you gain that by actually controlling the points. The more points you have, the faster your score climbs up. And as long as the Grineers don't win, you can actually continue to keep fighting on to get a better reward, because it plays pretty much like a defense mission. They offer you a reward after you get to the end, and you can either decide to take it or continue to fight on again. But of course the enemies get more difficult and all that good stuff. So this is what happens. You pretty much just come into the point and you stand here until you actually control it. Obviously if somebody from the other team is within the range, it's going to stop it. There's going to be a conflict that takes place, but now we've captured Charlie. Unfortunately, the Grineers have 2 points controlled, so gotta try to fight to gain control of them back. Now I'm using Mag. Mag's actually really good for this type of mission because she's good for taking down multiple enemies at once. Of course, her pull ability is going to be great for clearing out these spots and also demolishing all these enemies. Now, the actual point that's seems to be the most highly contested seems to be, I think it's D, yes, the one that's in the top left from where I am at this point. Because the enemies actually come pouring out of where that fire was. That's one of their main choke points that they pour out of. They come from all around the map though. And then there's actually 2 different variations of this particular mission type that you can find. This is just one of them. I guess I'll show you a little bit later what the other one looks like. You know, we take that fool down. Now, even when you're here, you actually have to continue to watch your back because they not only come from back there. Oh my goodness. Get back here. They'll actually come out of this door that's behind me too, which I need to keep an eye on. Oh man. Now, ideally, you really want to have 4 players in here. That way you have 1 person at each of the points. That makes this a whole lot easier. This door they can also come out of too. There's all kinds of areas where they pour out of on this map. And I'm not going to just show the entire match that we're going to play here. I'm going to show you some highlights, different strategies that can be used based on different warframes. And, oh my goodness, this is craziness. Luckily, Axe and I got this under control, though. We've got up to 30%. The Grenier's only got 9%, so we're already taking the lead by quite a good margin. Okay, first, let us fast forward to towards the end of this particular match, and then we'll look at some different strategies with the other warframes really quick. Here we go. Alright, so this is much later. It's up 92% for us against their 83%. It's getting really close, though. They've got control of 3 of the points, so I'm going to go try to recapture Charlie over here. Now, I'm skipping ahead because I don't want this video to be too long. It's already going to be pretty long because of all the content that actually has to go into this, so I can have a really completion to this whole Tethra'S Doom event. Alright, so we've got a conflict. We're going to try to hold this down. And Vortex has joined us at this point. He's actually in the room with us and Axe now. Alright, come on. Oh, there you are, you fool. Get over here. Alright, oh, now it's getting really intense. We got 93% to their 96, so it's getting really close. We've got to go try to capture these points so we can gain back this lead. We're really behind. Come on. It's coming down into the wire here. If we can manage to actually get up to 100% before they do, then the final part of this mission will be to eliminate the rest of the enemies who have already spawned on the map. Alright, come on. Good strategy, of course, is to try to keep down the number of enemies who are actually on the map right now, because the less enemies you have to worry about, there we go, the less a chance they have of actually capturing a point. So now all the enemies who are left are actually marked with those little icons on the map. We're going to go take care of all of them. It is, of course, pretty hectic here. We're going to try to get Axe really quick. Oh, man. If I even can. Oh, no. Oh, that was horrible. Actually, I had to use a revive. That's how intense this is getting right now. Oh, no, they're both down. Don't worry, I got both of them. Hopefully. And I got rockets flying in my face. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that was really close. That was down to 1%. Or 1 second, rather. Alright, so as soon as we take care of these, we will get our reward, which is the pieces to build the ciphers. We got the blueprints from Lotus 4. This is where we can choose to take our reward or continue to fight to hopefully get a better reward later. Now, we are, of course, just going to take this and go because we just want to get in and out of here really quick, because you only get 2 data fragments to build the ciphers every time you complete it. It doesn't matter if you continue going further on. And you can see them over there to the right of Vitality, the Tetra data fragments. Now we're going to go hit into the Foundry so I can show you exactly what's required to build these ciphers. Just head down this list really quick. Might be some stuff I can claim too. We'll see in a moment. Oh, hold on, Vortex. Calm it down. Just want to show these pieces here. Okay, here they are. So pretty much you need 3 to build the regular Tetra cipher, and then for the shield one you need 6. And then obviously a polymer bundle versus alloy plate, both of which I have plenty of. Then we can just craft this. It only takes literally a minute to build them. And then these are used to actually access the whole Tethra'S Doom event in a moment. Now this will be a quick look at the other variation of the particular interception mission here. Actually seems to be the other one most often every time I try to play this. This one comes up pretty often too, but the other one seems to come up a lot more often. Pretty much it's just a different design. It's the same exact idea. 4 different points. First team to 100% wins. And I'm also using Trinity here, so we can see a different strategy with her, of course. She's really good because she can use her Link ability, which essentially makes her invincible because she uses this power, and then every time an enemy attacks her, she basically sends the bullets and all the damage outwards onto the enemies that are actually in her vicinity, because they're actually linked with her. Mess these fools up, yes. And I'm gonna use Link in a moment here, just to give you an idea. Oh wow, that's crazy. Pretty much she launches it like this, and then all the enemies who are in her vicinity are linked to her. You can see the beams actually showing their locations, which is also another pretty cool strategy to use with it. And then every bullet that hits her while it's active actually gets reflected back onto the other enemies, and also all the melee damage, pretty much any damage that's done to her. Of course, the only issue is keeping it active, and then, of course, it's also a good strategy to use her Blessing ability, which is her instant heal for everybody in her vicinity. It instantly heals all the shields and also the health. Oh, look at this jerk. Who does he think he is? Stupid bombard? There we go. Let's get a better look at this Link. See, I'm not even shooting and he's getting damage. Well, I shot a little bit there because I really had to. Let's be honest now. It's not really super powerful depending on what kind of damage is being dealt to you. Like if a bombard's shooting a rocket at you or something, that's going to be pretty good damage for the enemies in the vicinity. Volt is also a really good Warframe for this mission type because he has his speed ability, and that allows him to get between points a lot more quickly. And then we of course can't forget about the good old trusty Overload here in a second. Oh yes. Taking out massive numbers of enemies. It's really necessary to use a Warframe capable of really handling their own and taking down a lot of enemies if you're going to control this point over here right next to me, point D. Because as you can see, those enemies just pour out of that point right there, and it just gets absolutely crazy exactly what goes on here. And considering we know where the choke points are, Oberon's really good too because he uses hollow ground here, which is really great. Every time an enemy runs through that, they're getting damaged, so that's really good. Obviously, my Oberon's not a high enough level for it to be really effective, but it's a good strategy. Now, these aren't all of the strategies you could use for this. This would just give you an idea of some of the strategies that are pretty effective. Anyways, let's go skipping ahead to the actual Tethra'S Doom event. So, starting this mission is pretty similar to how you start a Void mission. Pretty much you go right into your key section, and then you locate the Tethra'S Cipher, or the Shield Tethra'S Cipher, depending on which version of the mission you're doing. And then you get put into a separate lobby, then you can send your invites out. You can't actually have random people join you for this. You need to send invites out to people on your friends list. Anyways, joining me will be Goku 6, Axe, and Classified. Here we go! Infiltrated! Well, clearly this video contains the most infiltrated so far in the series. We'll have to see if we can break that record later. Anyways, the mission type in this particular event is pretty different than all the other ones, at least in the regular missions. I'm guessing this is going to be a new mission type that will be introduced in a later update. At least that's what these events typically seem to do. They introduce a brand new idea into the game, and then they actually eventually update it into the game in one of the later patches. Like in the previous event before this one, the Cicero Crisis, they introduced the new tile set for the Earth missions, which I still need to get into those Earth missions. They're coming very soon. They'll look a whole lot better than they did before, because on the Earth missions they were actually typically all like interior spaceship missions, but now they're actually outdoors. They're kind of like lush, kind of like jungle environments. They look really cool. Certainly a welcome change for sure. But yes, this mission type is pretty different. Basically, we're going to battle our way through all these enemies. And depending on which version of this mission you're doing, either the regular Tethra'S Cipher or the Tethra'S Shield Cipher, it will actually change the difficulty level of the enemies, because the ones in the Shield version are actually a much higher level than these ones. Like, let's see, what level are these guys? I thought that guy just said 9, I could be wrong. That's pretty low. Trying to take down as many of the guys as possible. I'm kind of getting distracted myself anyway, because I need to head to the objective. But I know the enemies on the shield one are like upwards of like level 28 to 30 or something like that, and they're pretty tough, at least if you're not well equipped enough to handle them. But the regular Tethra'S Cipher is much easier. Pretty much we just have to battle our way to the objective point, and then we go and hack a computer terminal, and then that eventually sends out this device that we're actually stealing from the airship that we're on. And then we just have to pretty much protect it as it eventually makes its way out to the extraction point. It's definitely a welcome change because it is pretty significantly different from all the other mission types in the game already. They definitely need more variation because the base game does have some pretty cool mission types, but we need to keep adding even more so we can have more variations, more strategy. Like, I'm always a fan of exterminate where you're just going to kill everybody, but when you actually have something you have to do, that makes it a lot more fun. Anyways, here's the core. So basically what happens with this is, in order for this to continue moving, it has to suck away our shields. And obviously you need warframes who are capable of healing those shields when they get depleted, because once everybody's down to 0, you're obviously vulnerable to enemies that are around you. And then this thing's not moving nearly as well as it should be. So that's why I've actually taken Mag. She has an ability called Shield Polarize. So basically what I'm going to do is continue to throw it down whenever the shields get down low enough, and that will continue to allow us to move on. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. It's really annoying trying to kind of multitask because you have to focus on using the Shield Polarize. And whoops, I accidentally used Crush by accident. My bad. And my Shield Polarize actually isn't even upgraded enough. I really should have upgraded it more before it came into this mission. I believe it's still on just like the level 1, or it's not even upgraded at all, so it's like level 0, I guess, unranked. But yes, Shield Polarize is really good because it heals the shields of all your teammates as well as you, so it allows this device to continue moving. And the device is also losing 10 points even just every second as it continues moving anyway. Alright, then once we reach one of these doors, we just have to wait for the door to open itself, and then we can continue moving on. Beyond this door is actually the hardest part of this mission. This is where there are most enemies pour out, and they also are pretty tough in here because they can come from all directions. Usually they actually sneak up on us from back here, from the direction we came from. And they also come from all over the place on the left, and they pretty much just pour in. You obviously have to have tank characters like Rhinos to really keep them under control. Bolt's also really good because he can do his area of effect attacks. Now, obviously, Mag would be good too if I could use her Crush and all that, but I have to focus on using my Shield Polarize in order to continue moving through here. There's also really important warframes that you could take to make this a lot easier, like Frost can actually use a snow globe to help protect the ship a lot easier too, or the power core rather. And also Trinity is really good too because she can use her blessing ability, which fully restores health and shields, so that's obviously really important here. Ultimately you'd want to have Mag and Trinity. And I guess Loki's also really good too because he has an ability called Radial Disarm that actually takes all the enemies within his range and it forces them to drop their guns and use melee weapons, so that it would obviously help a lot here in this situation. And obviously really high damage warframes are good too. You need to have a really good balance. Oh man, this is pretty embarrassing. It's really important to have a good balance and a good team here. Like, usually every time I've played this, even I'm playing with sneakies right now, but I've played this with random people too. There seems to be a lot of Rhinos joining this, and obviously if they're a high enough level it's not that bad, but it's not really that great either because you really want to have a well-balanced team in order to make this a lot easier and score as many points as possible. Anyways, this is the final room. After we reach that ending there, we'll finally finish this off. Now our goal here is to finish with as many points as possible. The way the points are determined are based on the amount of health left on the core, which you can see in the top left hand corner has about 5,700 or so health left. Pretty much that amount's divided by 10, and that determines the amount of points that you completed the event with. So right now we finished with about 560 something points. We'll actually see the score here. Yes, we finished with 568 points, and in order to get all of the rewards you actually only have to get up to 500, so we've actually completed this with the maximum amount of rewards. That's pretty awesome. And we do get some really cool rewards, which we'll actually be looking at a little bit later in this video. But first things first, let's skip ahead really quick. Anyways, this is some footage from the Shield Cipher variation of this event. You'll have to excuse the lack of in-game audio. There's a problem with the recording, I guess. Now, one of the main differences here is in order to open these doors, you actually have to go and hack these computer terminals here. There's 3 different ones that have to be hacked in order to open the doors to proceed further. Really important to have somebody that's dedicated to actually using the strategy of going right for those as soon as the doors open so that they can be accessed. It's also a really good idea for them to have the ciphers that you can build in the marketplace that allow you to hack terminals a lot easier. When you actually start building those, hacking's really not a concern at all anymore. You don't even have to worry about the minigame. You instantly hack them. It's a lot more convenient. And it's also worth noting that the enemies are a higher level in this, so it's much more difficult to do this one, although it's still not really all that difficult if you actually have a good team going. Anyways, I'm using Trinity here, and her strategy is pretty similar in a sense to how Mag plays this particular mission type. Pretty much instead of shield polarize, she just keeps spamming blessing whenever it's necessary, and that will instantly heal the shield as well as the health, so it's actually even better than Mag shield polarize. And then we just got to keep moving forward. Then that final room will be up there. I just want to show you the different variation and how the strategy has to change here. And I also want to show, of course, the fact that we're going to get the right score. Now, the way the scoring works on the shield cipher instead of the regular power core cipher is that it still divides the amount of health left over by 10, but after that it actually multiplies the number by 3. And the final score you actually want to have is 1,000, so obviously in order to get that you need to finish with more than 3,333 health left over for the core, which we clearly are going to pass with flying colors. Hopefully it moves quickly. Hurry up, let's go, let's go. Oh man, this is craziness. Luckily Axe brought in one of his friends who's overpowered with his rhino, so he helps us a lot here. Anyways, we'll be seeing our final score here in just a moment. Perfect, 1,913. We finish out with absolute flying colors, almost doubled the score we need. Alright, let's take a look at the rewards we're going to receive now. You can now clearly see Operations no longer has the event under it, so it's all completed. After it's all done, even though you finish it, you have to wait until the event's all over. Then you go in your inbox and you find this new message. Tethra'S Doom Victory. Tenno. Counselor Vahek has suffered a major setback. Just days ago he was preparing a fleet for certain domination. Now he's scrambling to launch just a handful of Fomorians. Do not let this victory go to your head, Tenno. Vahek still poses a very real danger. He is still capable of launching enough Fomorians to be a credible threat. When he does, you will have to face them in the field. I am already preparing for the day that battle comes. In the meantime, I would like to thank you for your efforts with this badge. You've proven yet again that when the Tenno work together, we are unstoppable. Due to your dedication and exemplary performance, I have also rewarded you with the 4 attached mods and a Gorgon Wraith. Use them wisely. Finally, even amongst a group of warriors as fine as a Tenno Sneaky G, you stand out. Through your valiant fighting, you have distinguished yourself as one of our best. To honor your performance, I'm rewarding you with this Quantum Badge. Wear it with pride. Lotus. These items have been delivered to your inventory. Tethra'S Doom emblem is number 1. Then we also have a 3-day affinity booster, which is always very handy to have. It makes leveling up a lot faster. And then we have this melee mod that adds an extra 15% electricity and status chance. And then there's also one for pistols. And then, of course, we can't forget about the rifle one. These are all rare mods, too, just like the ones that came with the Cicero Crisis. And, oh, don't forget the shotgun either. Then we have the Gorgon Wraith, which is a really awesome gun. I can't wait to start using that. The regular Gorgon's really cool. And then the Tethra'S Doom Quantum Emblem. So let's check out some of these awards, shall we, sneakies? Rhino was kind enough to volunteer to show us these new emblems. First up is the Tethra'S Doom, and he does look pretty spiffy now, doesn't he? Oh yes. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is the really cool one. This is the Tethra'S Doom Quantum Emblem. This was rewarded for getting 1,000 points on the shield cipher. And as you can see, it looks really awesome. And of course, we need some Gorgon Wraith action here. That way we can see how awesome this gun is. It's tearing through these grenadiers like they're nothing, because quite frankly, they are. This is also a hint at a video coming out very soon in this series. Let's see if you can guess in the comments below exactly what that will be. Should be pretty obvious anyway. Alright, sneakies, thanks for tuning in. I do hope you enjoyed as always. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy this series. The more likes we get, the faster these videos keep pouring out. Also, hit subscribe to become a sneaky today. That way you don't have to miss another video in this series ever again. I'm always looking for more people to play in these videos with me, so if you are interested, leave me a comment below, and I'll definitely make it happen in the future. Anyways, I will see you next time for some more Warframe on the PlayStation 4.